Hello and welcome along to Chasing the Dollar. Well, it is a huge weekend of greyhound racing coming up. Of course, group racing in Melbourne. We have the Derby and the Futurity at the Gardens on Friday night. We'll get tips from Tim on those races in a moment after we go through the quaddie legs in Wentworth Park. But Tim, it is the Preludes of the Golden Easter Egg. Only a month away. Very exciting. The biggest time of year here at Wentworth Park.
Yeah, really looking forward to the next 5 or 6 weeks, Benny. A strong meeting on Saturday night. All the Group 1 dogs, of course, are in Melbourne for the big races down there, and at the Gardens too for the Derby and Futurity. But it is a strong meeting, and I think there's a few good things on the card as well.
All right, we'll get into race number 5. Now, this is Prelude number 2 of the Golden Easter Egg. What did you pick out here?
Really keen on number 8, Princess Black. She led all of the way in flying time last week. She did it at the beginning, she did it mid-race, and she came home in under 16 seconds. She clocked 29.81. She is airborne, and she's beautifully drawn in box number 8. I thought she was a bit of a risk last week from the inside alley because she normally races at 4 or 5 off the fence. And so box 8 will suit her perfectly on Saturday night. I think she is a good thing, number 8, Princess Black. The only danger for mine is number 2, Pumped Up Czar. This is a lightly raced greyhound. He's got a massive motor. He won in great style at Richmond at his most recent run. He found all sorts of bother shortly after the drop. It was a huge run. He clocked 30.54. His only run at Wentworth Park, he was contesting the lead and found all sorts of trouble. He is the only possible danger for mine. Throw in number 1, Chasing Karma, for your wider multiples.
Well, race number 6 is the third of the Preludes of the Golden Easter Egg. Gennaro goes around from box 6 here looking for a hat-trick of wins, Tim.
And he's going great guns, but I like number 1, My Sweet Love from the inside alley. Her run in a little tougher company last week was really good after striking a bit of trouble. She's well drawn on the inside. She's got a moderate beginner on her outside, so she'll get clear galloping room in the initial stages. She's only got to begin cleanly to hunt through lead or sit chasing a couple of the weaker ones. She's got a huge chance. Number 1, My Sweet Love. 6, Gennaro, the greyhound you mentioned, Ben, has got a huge chance as well. He should be unbeaten in 3 runs of the track. He's won his past couple, and his first run here he was a certainty beaten. He's well drawn, wider on the track for mine. He can be a bit touchy at box rise, but he's got high speed. He's a greyhound with plenty of upside. And number 8, High Voltage, has got the early pace to be competitive, has got to be thrown into your quaddies as well.
That takes us on to race number 7, the third leg of the quaddie. It is a 5th grader, not the toughest, well, not the strongest race on the program. There's got to be a winner though, Tim.
Yeah, number 3, Western Muzzle, Benny. He ran into all sorts of trouble on debut at the track last week from the 8 alley. He's better drawn over toward the inside. He's just got to begin safely and just hold a position in the first 50 to 80 metres, and I think he'll blow this field away. He's clocked flying times in runs at Richmond, which were back in November and December. He's had a bit of a freshen up, and his last run here at Wentworth Park was his first run. He'll be improved by that run at the track and his first run for about 5 or 6 weeks. As I said, I think he's just got to hold a position. He'll be too strong, number 1, Western Muzzle. 1, Another Lee, has been racing well on provincial tracks, has got the early pace to hunt up at the first turn and should be in the firing line. And for your wider multiples, throw in number 6, Intoxic.
Well, race number 8 rounds out the quaddie, and this is a strong race. There are plenty of these that have come in under 30 seconds at Wentworth Park. You're picking one that's got a 30 flat time, though. Yeah,
number 1, True Blue Ethics. He is a little touchy at box rise, but he's got great burn when he gets fully into stride. He's beautifully drawn on the inside, underneath Phantoms, who will stay straight in the run to the first turn, and hasn't got the early pace to go with him for the first 100 to 120 metres. He only needs just to begin cleanly, True Blue Ethics. I think he leads, and I think he just continues to roll. He can run around 30 seconds. Clearly the one to beat, number 1, True Blue Ethics. 4, Tomato Catch Up, the value runner in the race. She's got good speed as well, and she can overcome the awkward alley. She's got a moderate beginner on her outside, which will help her. She's got a good chance at value. Throw in number 2, Phantoms, who's racing in probably career best form and is going to get every chance. Should just park behind the leaders here and we'll get the last drop at them. And Jeremy Jett, he can pop up every now and then. I'd throw him into your wider big 6s and quaddies.
Well, it's that time on Chasing the Dollar. We get Tim's best bet on the program.
As I mentioned earlier, race 5, number 8, Princess Black. She was brilliant last week, leading all of the way. She's got a box on Saturday night. I think she'll roll straight to the lead and do it again.
And your value?
In race 1, number 1, Bugatti Fly. This is probably the best race on the card. It's a free-for-all, and this greyhound will be really good odds. Her run during the Futurity series at the Gardens. They were fantastic. She's got a beautiful draw in the 1 alley. She's got a wider runner on her outside. I think she's going to be $5, $6, $7. I think she can run a huge race in the opener on Saturday night.
Well, it's a huge night at the Gardens on Friday night, the final of the Derby and the Futurity. Tim will get your tips for both those races.
The Futurity, I like Little Miss Sparkle. She finished out of the placings last week, but she did manage to qualify. She's come up with box 8. She's a brilliant beginner. She's got high speed. She's unleadable if she does begin. But they are betting $2.40 at the moment, which I think is ridiculous odds. I think she's a $3.20, $3.50 chance. And if she does get to that price, I'll be backing her. But at the moment, $2.40. I can't back her, but I've got a tipper. The value in the race for mine is Punch One Out around the $5 mark. Has drawn box 6, beautifully drawn wider on the track. Jason McKay trains and will have her peaking for the race. She is the value, but if Little Miss Sparkle does get out around $3, $3.20, $3.50, I will be on her.
And the Derby?
Kelmat's Fantasy, another box 8. He's unbeaten from the outside alley. He's got a couple of moderate beginners drawn on his inside. He should get plenty of room to rush down the outside at the first turn. He's got strength on his side as well. He could even posse up second or third and run a couple of the greyhounds down. I think he's got a huge chance, Kelmat's Fantasy.
Well, it is a huge weekend of greyhound racing. We'll spare you from tipping on what's going on in Melbourne as well. And we'll see you next time on Chasing the Dollar.